there a lot. After 6, I feel like that's no longer the case. I bought this greens powder a while ago, and I remember trying it once and being like, oh, this tastes like grass. But I do think maybe I made it wrong, like I used too much. So I'm gonna try to be a grown-up and try this again and see if I like it. Not as bad. Okay, that's actually much better. Good morning. It is 10:14. I need to leave right now because I'm on my way to go meet with a new personal trainer. I haven't worked out in a while, but this is just like our intro session, like our get to know you session. But I'm not really sure what we're gonna do today because I'm in a mood, but we're gonna do it together. So there you go. I'm gonna put my water in a different water bottle that's a little bit more portable and head out. And we'll let you know how it goes. I survived it. I did it. It was really, really good. I like the trainer a lot. The workout was very hard. My heart's still pumping, but it was good. I feel like this is gonna be good. It just felt very good. So now, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have errands to run, but I think it's also supposed to storm in a bit. Right now, it's just humid and breezy. So I'm gonna go ahead and head home and we'll figure it out from there. Over the weekend, I got hit with like the worst migraine I've ever had. I'm pretty sure it's because I ran around outside in the intense humidity. So that pretty much stopped my weekend and stopped this vlog. But we're back to work from home day. We're like more than halfway through it. I have a meeting in 13 minutes and I need a coffee before that meeting. Just got in an espresso order, which was good. I was like doing okay on espresso pods, but I was almost out of coffee pods. Mexico is my favorite coffee pod. It's just like such a nice smooth coffee, so I got 2 of those. More of the double espresso Chiara. That's what I use whenever I make like a latte or an Americano. And this one is, I think, another coffee. Blanco Forte, another really good coffee. It's a little bit stronger than Mexico, but so good. And I got a double espresso dolce. Again, I prefer that one in like a creamier drink, like a latte, versus an Americano. Then we got a freebie. Ooh, Malozio, which is probably like the first coffee that I ever tried and liked by Nespresso. They gave me a regular pod and a decaf, which we won't be needing that anytime soon.
I probably broke your heart the moment we met. Don't you understand the way I move is not a flex? It's how I move, baby girl, I take steps. Tiptoe, it's how you know. Take my time. Everything's fine on my side. Everything's fine. Everything's fine on my side. You don't gotta worry.
Hi.
Look at all the space. I've been out of space. I can tell that you mine by the look up on your face. I've been looking like I fell deep inside a swimming pool. Sometimes my emotions and thoughts don't get to come through. So I stay to myself. Yeah, I stay to myself. I do it for my mental health. Don't know what else to do. Everything's fine on my side. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, I look very hot and sweaty because I just made dinner. I made spaghetti. But I was listening to my audiobook while I made dinner, and the book was just, this is my current read. If you watched my previous vlog, the reading newly released romance, you know that this was in that vlog a little bit, but it came out last year, so I didn't read it last week. So I started it for this week, and it's like fine. I'm enjoying it. Like, the story to me reads a little bit YA. I think this is technically new adult because it's college age students. They're like in their senior year of college, so like they're 22, but I don't know, it kind of just reads, I think because of the college atmosphere, it makes sense that it reads a little bit younger, but the spice is definitely spicing, and I'm enjoying it. Like, it's fine. I feel like some of the things about the characters like don't make sense. Like, we've been made to believe that this character is one way, but then she'll like so easily do things that are not in her typical character. Like, for example, the main character, her name is Summer, and her dad is a hockey player, or was a hockey player. We haven't really worked through that trauma yet, and because of her dad issues, she's like sworn off athletes. But like, the love interest in this book is a hockey player. He's the captain of the college hockey team, and I feel like she folds for him like relatively quickly. So I don't know, but we were like, in the first couple chapters, it's like, I hate hockey, I'll never go to hockey, I'll never see a rink, and then like by chapter 6 I feel like that's no longer the case. But either way, it's a fun enough read. I'm thinking I'll probably finish it between today, tomorrow. We'll see how much I get done tonight. My main goal for this evening is to finish eating, get set for tomorrow, and get in bed by like 9:30 because my sleep schedule has been trash and I need to fix that. Before I start eating, and while we're talking books, I finally picked up When the Moon Hatched. I like grabbed this in Barnes & Noble and was truly taken aback by how thick. Like, is everyone okay? But I keep hearing really good things about this, and I'm just gonna pick it up. This book is like 1 trillion pages. That's not true. Let's get an accurate page count. Like 600, just under 700 pages. And it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I do have a digital copy as well, because obviously my little young just a girl wrist would die if I had to hold that book everywhere. But I really wanted to start that, so I'm hoping that after I finish Collide, I can start that. And I leave for vacation next Thursday, and I would like to not be reading like, I think it's technically romantasy, but I think that like the fantasy is just not the vibe for this vacation. I'm going to Barbados. Like, I want to read about other girls frolicking on the beach, not like fae. I don't even know if there's fae in that book. So at least now you know this is what we are reading this week, and I think the page count of these two is like plenty. But July was a great reading month. I think I read 7 or 8 books total. So I'm hoping that between this week, last week, I'm already 1 book in because I finished Curvy Girl Summer, which I gave like 3.5 stars. And then vacation, my only plans for this vacation are to lay and to read every day. Lay, read, margarita, lay, read, margarita. So hopefully I can pack a really good Kindle selection for that. Crack open a Culture Pop. I traded my Poppy of the night in for a Culture Pop. This one is a very good flavor, and I'm drinking it in my bougie $3 Target wine glass because why not? Would you be shocked to know that it's been 2 days since I last picked up the camera? I feel like that's becoming a thing now for these like longer vlogs, that it ends up being like a Monday, Wednesday. Well, today is Thursday. It's another in-office day for me, so I'm about to head out and go to work. Later tonight, I'm going to Barnes & Noble. There's an event for romance writers, and I know one of the authors there is Zio Axelrod, and the other writer that's going to be there, Rosie Dannon, who wrote The Roommate Experiment, which I really liked. She also wrote The Intimacy Project, which I have not read. They're both going to be there tonight, just sharing like advice for writers and tips and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that. But this week, like yesterday, I feel like I spent the whole day. I did do a very good job, if I do say so myself, but I spent the whole day like just trying to keep my anxiety in check. I think it's like the pre-vacation work is working, like all those elements coming together, just like getting to me a little bit. So I feel like tonight I need to also like do a little self-care just to keep myself on track. I'm gonna make a little quick note. If you're not using your notes app, like all the memes that talk about the way that like a girl's notes app is truly the most random place in the world, very accurate. So let's do a self-care plan. So I'm gonna go to the Barnes & Noble event. That will be fun. And I'm also gonna not cook tonight. I've been craving Chipotle for dinner. So that's like one less thing to worry about. I also need to make sure I drink 100 ounces of water today. I'm going to snacks so I don't like get hangry. I want to be in bed by like 9:45. The event is over by 7. By the time I go home, or by the time I grab dinner, which is only like a little walk away, come back home, it should be probably like 8:15, 7:30, 7:40 at the latest. So I'll do that. I'll come in, eat, shower, get in bed, and I need to be asleep by 11 because I've been falling into the trap where I get in bed early, but then I just sit in bed with my Kindle and read all night, which is not effective. This feels good. This feels like a way forward. Now I need to head out because I have my first meeting at 9:15, which is criminal, but it's a good meeting, so let's go to work.
So sweet like sugar in my face. Smooth talking got you in my place, yeah. So let me break it down, baby. Go and keep that rhythm steady. Back and forth, and baby, don't stop. Oh, your body's worth celebrating. Let's just skip the waiting. Take my hand, and I won't let you down. No, rock with me, baby. Give me all you got, baby. Oh, that's right, yeah, darling. Catch my vibe and don't get oh, let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Up to the moon.
First of all, I went to a pretty like bookish writerly event. I was home before 8 p.m. But for some reason, I feel like I went to a bar and did like 4 shots and had 6 margaritas. I don't know why I feel so groggy this morning, but the event last night was really awesome. To sum it up, basically, Barnes & Noble, the Barnes & Noble near me at least, is hosting these events called The Right Stuff, and each of them has a different theme. Last night's theme was romance writing, how to get started in romance writing, which is obviously a major goal of mine. If you've watched the channel or like followed me on socials for a while, then you know that writing has always been a big part of what I do, who I am, and writing and finishing is the key word. A romance novel is really high on my list, so it was really helpful. They gave great tips, great advice. They shared a bunch of resources for us, which I'm gonna go through today and probably end up ordering some more craft books, which I love a good writing craft book. Before I wrap this vlog, I wanted to give a final reading update because I feel like I haven't updated y'all on my reading in this since I finished Collide. So I did finish this on my Kindle, which is why the bookmark is still there in the wrong spot, but I finished this. I ended up giving it like a 3.5 star. It was really cute. Like, it's a cute new adult. I would classify it as college romance. Like, they're obsessed with each other. It's not really like enemies to lovers, I would call it more grumpy, or rivals to lovers, I would call it more grumpy sunshine. I thought that the subplots in it were really good, even though they all got resolved really easily, but I do feel like that's kind of more common in new adult. I like the characters. It was definitely spicy. Like once they decide that they're going to be together, it's like every other chapter, it's like spice, 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 spice. But it was really like well done. I had fun. I might read the second one in the series, which did release this year. I forget what it's called. I want to say it's called Off Ice, but I think that's wrong. I just know it has a really cute cover. I'll pop that cover over here. But I like the writing and like the story enough that I would like read this author again. So really solid, like fun, cute romance. Like if you're having like a rainy, cozy weekend and you just like want something you can read in maybe like a day or two, I would definitely pick this up. After that, I started a book that's been on my shelves for a while because I keep seeing it pop up in some Black creators reading vlogs, and that's Luca by Gray Huffington. This is the first book in the Eisenberg Effect series, which follows a different sibling in this family. I am having a lot of fun with the story. I feel like I started it 2 days ago and I'm already 281 pages in. It's definitely delivering on spice. It's like a fun, it feels like kind of like I'm watching an episode of like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. But I mean that in a really good way. Like I'm having a lot of fun with this book. It took me a while to get into it because it definitely could have benefited from just like an editor. And I think that, you know, books having like grammatical errors or typos or things, it's just like a part of the writing process. And obviously this was independently published, so indie authors can't always afford to work with an editor. But I think that there are times when it's like, oh, there was a typo and that was like whatever. And then sometimes if there are too many too close together, it can be distracting. So it was a little distracting when I was like maybe the first like 3 or 4 chapters of this book. But now I feel like I'm invested enough in the story and the characters. I'm just like, I'm probably going to finish this tonight. It literally feels like watching an episode of TV. I should tell you what the book is about. So we follow our main character. Her name is Ever. And when the book starts, she's fleeing from an abusive relationship. So she goes to a new well, she doesn't go to a new town. She goes back to her hometown. And she goes to stay with her friend Lyric. And Lyric's brother is Luca, who is kind of like the head of this like underground crime family who's been away and is just getting out. And then they meet and it's kind of like sparks ensue pretty instantly. So it does give insta love, but in a way where I'm kind of like, I'm okay with that. Luca is definitely, everyone's review for this kept saying that Luca is VBDE. If you know, you know, and I would absolutely agree with that. So I'm excited to see how I feel about this when I finish. I didn't plan on starting this originally this week, but I felt like this was a good break between this and like all the vacation reads that I'm loading up right now. And last but not least, you know, I went to a book event, so of course I bought books, which I feel like is the least you can do if authors are coming and giving you like free advice, essentially, like support their books. So I picked up Hannah Tate Beyond Repair by Laura Piper Lee. And I really haven't read the synopsis. I kind of just gauged what this book is about based on comments that she made through the panel. But basically, Hannah is a woman who finds it really hard to find herself worthy of love because she feels like she's such a hot mess. And then she meets this guy who like lives next door who's like a hippie and also a hot mess. Like I think Laura described him as a man-child, and they end up like falling for each other, and she learns to love herself through the way that she's able to be when she's loving him. So this sounds really, really cute. We'll see. I'll probably read a chapter of each of these over the weekend and see how I feel. And they all signed my books, which was so sweet. And Laura wrote in my book, keep writing. I also just want to say she has incredible hair, like beautiful hair. I picked up The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes by Zio Axelrod. Again, I know very little about this, but this has been on my radar for a long time. But this is the first book in the Lilies series. The Lilies is a band in this world, and we follow different band members as they're falling in love. This one is a thicker one. Well, it looks thicker. I think it's under 400 pages though. It is 440 pages, but if I finish Luca, maybe I'll start this one next. I don't know, that feels like the right thing to do. I'd already grabbed a signed edition when I was checking out of the store, but Zio also personalized the book for me, and she also told me to keep writing. Having a personalized book from an author is just like so special to me. And then lastly, I picked up The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danan. I read The Roommate Experiment by Rosie Danan. When I saw this book, admittedly I like wasn't tempted to pick it up because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like gel with the premise. So it's about a woman who is like a sex therapist, and she does a lot of like public speaking, and she ends up falling for a rabbi who was working to like modernize his synagogue. Yeah, he has to like reinvigorate the synagogue. So I don't know how I feel about like, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about that premise. But Rosie Danon was, one, very funny, so generous, and like so kind. I was like, I feel like if I liked her first book enough, I should just trust that I'm gonna enjoy this too. Other book that she has out right now, I think is like more of a paranormal romance, which isn't really my vibe. So I figured out of the two, I would prefer this over that. And she did personalize my book as well. So that's the haul. That's the reading update. It's Friday morning. I'm about to go swan dive into my work to-do list because I want to sign off as early as I can and ease into this weekend because I am in full vacation prep mode. This time next week, I will be laying out in the sun in front of a pool with a Kindle. If you made it this far in the vlog, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future vlogs. Let me know like the last really like cute, giggly, screaming, crying, I can't believe how cute this is, swoon-worthy romance that you read in the comments, because I still have some time to load up my Kindle before I leave for vacation, and I want like the cutest, swooniest, spiciest reads to take with me. You know I'm a mood reader, so I definitely need options. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video.
I feel it too. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Up to the moon. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Yeah. Listen. I'd rather being honest. Never thought that'd be the hardest thing. Keeping secrets like it's hobbies. But baby girl,